Welcome to episode 71 of the State of the Market for Law Firm Sales in 11 Minutes. My name is Jeremy Pook, and I lead Senior Attorney Match. Today's episode will focus on why senior attorneys smile after selling to growing law firms. So I've noticed this interesting commonality among law firm sellers that I wanted to share in today's episode. So we're typically representing lawyers that run what we call small business law firms, 20 lawyers and less, 10 lawyers and less, sometimes 5 lawyers and less. They've often practiced for more than 30 years, and we're often helping them broker the sales of their firms to growing law firms. And the commonality of something that I've noticed recently and really over time as well is that when I check on our clients, that is, we go to the websites of the growing law firms to whom our clients sell their practices, and our clients' bios are on the website homepages or the About Us or the attorneys listing page for the purchasing growing law firms. And I notice our clients, and the commonality is that they're always smiling. So we want to address today, why is it that senior attorneys smile after selling to growing law firms? So let's jump right into it. So let's go back to really the beginning of the sales cycle. When senior attorneys come to Senior Attorney Match, they often present two common issues that's brought them to why they're thinking about selling their firms. It's not just these two issues, but these are the ones that we find is the most common. First and foremost is just being tired of managing the office. We hear very often from senior attorneys that they are just tired of managing the office. They'd love to be able to slow down. They wish they could take a 2-week vacation, let alone a 3-week vacation. And then they're just reminded every single month, really every other week, when it comes to payroll that they've got to pay and they're responsible for, and every month when they've got to write a check to a landlord, unless they own the property, the office themselves. The additional frustration point that we hear at the beginning of the sales cycle is a question about why is it that my internal key employee lawyers, why aren't they coming down the hallway and offering to purchase my law firm? That is for lawyers that do have younger attorneys at their firms, senior associates, junior partners, heck, even partners. Senior attorney owners of law firms are just frustrated with why their key employee lawyers, as we call them, don't want to purchase their practice. And spoiler alert there, the reason why is because by and large, key employee lawyers, what is it that they really want? They want and need a reliable, predictable, and safe job. And by and large, they do not want to purchase their boss's law firms, and they can't afford to either. And that really leads, of course, to frowns. Now let's look at the end of the sales cycle. That is, when senior attorneys sell their law practices to growing law firms. And that's really what we continue to see in the marketplace, right? The preferred purchaser of a small business law firm is often a growing law firm that wants and needs what it is that senior attorney sellers have. Let's focus on the senior attorney seller. Why is a seller smiling post-sale? There's really 3 reasons. The first reason is that you accomplish, that is, the senior attorney seller accomplishes 4 wins by selling to a growing law firm. The first win is being able to monetize the law practice, right? You've worked your whole career, you've built a book of business, you've built a reputation, you have a viable business. A growing law firm presents an opportunity and a means to monetize the practice. Secondly, and very importantly, is that the growing law firms often want and need the lawyers and non-lawyer support staff at a senior attorney seller's law firm. So whereas your key employee lawyer doesn't want to purchase your law firm, a growing law firm purchaser wants and needs those talented lawyers to continue representing your clients, to put in the billable hours or work on the contingency fee type work to make it rain and to continue to bring in business and revenues into the purchasing firm's law firm. The third win is to ensure the continuing representation of your clients, right? These clients depend on you. They depend on your law firm. By joining a growing law firm, they're welcoming in your clients. Your clients benefit by ongoing, continuous, and competent and zealous representation. And then the fourth win is that you're facilitating the growth of a purchasing law firm. It's incredibly satisfying, brings great smiles to our clients' faces when they know that someone else is winning by succeeding to a senior attorney's law firm. So that's really the first of three reasons, right? And there were four in that first one for why senior attorneys smile when they sell to a growing law firm. Here are the additional two reasons why. The first of those two reasons is that you no longer need to manage the office. I mean, like, that just brings such a sigh of relief to our clients when they no longer need to pay payroll, they no longer need to pay rent. They can come and go to the office as they please. Because as a reminder, our clients are typically joining growing law firms as of-counsel attorneys. Why? In some respects, because they want to continue practicing. They just don't want to be managing the firm anymore. Importantly, the growing law firms need the senior attorney seller to transition the trust of their clients to lawyers at the growing law firm. But because the senior attorney seller doesn't need to manage the office, the seller has gained tremendous amounts of control of their lives. They can now go on that 3-week vacation. They can spend 3 months out of the year, if let's say you live in the Northeast, and can be 3 months or 4 months even in the Southeast in Florida or the Southwest, wherever it is that you want to be, and can be communicating with the firm to which you're still of counsel. You can be checking email, checking texts, checking voicemails, participate in Zooms, of course, participate in phone calls and email dialogues. So that second reason for why you are smiling post-sale is because you've got much more control of your life. You are no longer controlled by the quote-unquote office. And then finally, why senior attorneys smile after selling to a growing law firm is because you have the opportunity to transform from practicing as a lawyer as your identity to leaving a legacy. Right? I mean, so many people would love the opportunity to be able to leave a legacy in terms of the profession that they have practiced in over the course of their careers. And when senior attorneys sell their law firms to growing law firms, the legacy opportunities are really fourfold. And we've mentioned some of them already, but here they are. First it's the legacy of making sure that your clients are in good hands. Your clients will continue to have that competent, continuous representation. Second legacy point is that the families that depend on you, your key employee lawyers, your non-lawyer support staff that depend on you week in, week out for their income, by introducing those folks to growing law firms that want and need your talented lawyer and non-lawyer staff, huge for legacy. Third part of the legacy is that you've built up tremendous subject matter knowledge over the course of your career. And by being able to share that expertise with additional lawyers at the growing law firm that you join brings great smiles to senior attorneys' faces. And the fourth part is the marketing value that you present. So many senior attorneys would love to be able to go onto podcasts, film YouTube videos, write a blog, other forms of marketing they just never had time to do when they ran their own practices. And now they do have that time to do so. So for today's recap, why is it that senior attorneys smile after selling to a growing law firm? So here we're going to do a compare and contrast. When senior attorneys initially come to Senior Attorney Match and are thinking about selling their law firms, they often have frowns on their faces. And those frowns come from being tired of having to manage the office, always having the office on their minds and the responsibilities associated with running the office, together with the fact that they just wish that their internal would-be successors, who we call key employee lawyers, they just wish that those key employee lawyers would come down the hallway someday and say, I'm ready to purchase the practice. But they realize at some point, and we often educate our clients about this, that your key employee lawyers really want a reliable, predictable, and safe job as compared to aspiring to owning a small business law firm. So now let's look at the end of the sales cycle. Why is it that senior attorneys smile after selling to a growing law firm? What we find is that our clients are consistently smiling after selling to growing law firms because they've accomplished 4 wins when they sell to a growing law firm. They're able to monetize their practices. They are able to ensure that their lawyer and non-lawyer support staff have jobs because the growing law firms typically welcome those key employee lawyers and support staff to their firms. They're ensuring that their clients will have ongoing, competent, continuous, zealous representation, and they can have the great satisfaction that they're helping another law firm grow. Second reason why our clients are smiling after joining growing law firms, they have greater control of their lives. They're no longer managing the office on a day-to-day basis. Such a sigh of relief. They can take a 3-week vacation. They can go away for months at a time. They can pick and choose which clients they want to work with when they continue often practicing of counsel for a number of years by choice with growing law firms to whom they sell. And then the third reason why I smile is because you're able to transform from the law practice and yourself as a lawyer as your identity to leaving a legacy. You're leaving a legacy of taking care of your clients, taking care of your employees, sharing your expertise, and also being able to monetize the practice. So hence, when we go on to the websites of the growing law firms that our clients join, I'm just not surprised anymore at all that our clients smile when they take their bios, the pictures for their bios at the growing law firms to whom they sell. And that is episode 71 of the State of the Market for Law Firm Sales and